New food options coming to the CC.
Students struggling to study in hot and cold buildings. Are repairs coming anytime soon?
And taking a seat could be the worst thing for your health.
These stories and more on this edition of Hanover Headlines.
Welcome to this edition of Hanover Headlines, the place to turn for all of your campus news. I'm Joey Theobald.
And I'm Owen Vi. Winter term is in the books and spring is in the air. And the end of the year is in sight. But there's still a lot going on and a lot of news that you need to know. First up, many college athletes have great memories of Friday Night Lights. Many students wish that they could play these games right here at Hanover. Malachi Parks reports on whether the stadium lights are in the works.
Athletic teams like lacrosse start games early. This game started at 3, so many students had to miss class. Other schools start games later because they have lights and can play at night. There have been rumors that some professors oppose light pollution, or coaches don't want to work late. But according to athletic director Lynn Hall, it all comes down to money.
We have had to decide what our priorities are for athletics, and we don't have the funding right now. It was more important to put in artificial turf football field to start with.
Many teams like baseball could benefit from lights. Without lights, student athletes miss class and fall behind. Students say it affects the relationships with professors.
It would honestly just make it easier on the professors and the students, just allowing students to have relationships of, being in class and not having to make a relationship where you're like, hey, I'm going to be missing class this day because I have to get out to practice or I have to leave for this game because it has to start earlier in the day.
The athletic department has a plan to fix this problem. In 2027, Hanover College will celebrate 200 years. Athletics plans to fundraise during the bicentennial to get these lights.
But we have to fundraise, and then there will be a priority of which fields get funded first.
If everything goes planned, in 2027, the first place that receive lights will be here at Alumni Stadium. For Hanover Headlines, I'm Malachi Parks.
Having lights would allow families to attend more games because of a later start time.
The Center for Fine Arts hosts dozens of classes daily. Although there are some days you feel like you're walking in a frozen tundra, others feel like you're in the Sahara Desert. Will Simpson has more on the CFA temperature control.
While this building has such an important role, it is also past due renovations, as the temperature inside can reach extreme highs and severe lows. While most days the weather may be clear skies and sunny outside, inside it can be unbearable, as some of the professors would say.
I never know what to wear in the morning, so I find myself, it takes me a long time to get dressed because I need something that I can strip and be, if it's 85 degrees or 90 degrees. It's actually, we had someone with a thermometer recorded 120 degrees in our equipment room. It's really hot.
Although conditions for students and professors can be bad, the environment is just as bad for the equipment. This could jeopardize its ability to function properly.
Sound equipment that's in here for the auditorium that we use that basically amplifies the sound from the soundboard downstairs. It is very heat sensitive, and it has actually caused some very serious problems with that equipment because it's gotten so hot.
Administration has plans for some of the changes that they would like to make. However, the problem is the ability to afford it.
Probably 2 or 3 million just for the HVAC. And we don't want to do that without doing the other things at the same time if we're going to tear the place apart anyway. So we'd love to get, 5 million would be great, 6 million would be better to do improvements on that.
In a lot of classrooms like this one, there are thermostats that can be seen, but not adjusted. So all the professors can do is watch as the temperature rises and drops. For more from Hanover Headlines, I'm Will Simpson.
After several weeks of research, Hanover College welcomed a huge change in the kitchen. It will impact both the workers and the students. Vincent Juan reports.
On February 7th, Hanover College welcomed its new chef, Chef Mary Disanayake. She comes directly from Texas, where she worked 25 years. But Chef Mary came from Indiana. She came back to the state to be closer to her family. Her job will be to oversee the food quality for the 3 restaurants of the university.
Yeah, I had a lot of experience. I worked in schools, I worked in a lot of hotels. I was at Four Seasons in Texas. I was at a boutique hotel in Miami, so I had several places.
Mary replaced Chef Andrew, who left at the beginning of the year. According to the general manager, John Underly, the university was looking for someone able to work with a very diverse team. Chef Mary is already described by her coworkers as a manager with some specific expectations, but who is also open to any new ideas. She says that she is positively surprised to work with some students. She thinks that they bring a great energy to the team. She and John Underly have also a lot of ideas to improve the menus. Students, and especially international students, criticize the food for its lack of diversity.
We do have the ability for comments to be sent to us. We've got outside of each location, there's you can scan it and send us any comments. If there's certain items that they would like us to do, we can certainly do it.
Chef Mary has traveled to many countries. She says that this past experience will help her to bring more diversity in the menus. For instance, students will be glad to know that guacamole will be available for the next fall term. For Hanover Headlines, I'm Vincent Jauen.
Here in Hanover, there's a new animal on campus, the Hanover bison. The sculpture has been completed by the environmental art class. Finding the right location for the bison was important, and come May 5th, it'll be permanently in front of the Science Center. Recycled stained glass covers the bison. The sculpture is a tribute to the Miami Indians.
RAs, whether you love them or hate them, they have lots of responsibilities here on campus, and they have great impact on students' lives. But Joey Theobald reports that being an RA might not be as glamorous as it seems.
Dirty halls, messy kitchens, and late nights. RAs say these are just some of the problems they have seen while in their time being an RA here at Hanover.
One of the busiest places on campus to be an RA is here at the buildings of Donner and Ide. With these buildings hosting over 150 freshmen, there's no telling what problems could arise here.
On top of that, like you're living in places that you probably don't want to live in, but it's just the environment around it.
Hanover RAs find themselves doing more work compared to competing schools, yet find themselves less compensated financially than these said competing schools.
Compared to like schools like Bellarmine and TSU and Louisville, I'm going to guarantee they have better situations than we do.
With Hanover RAs earning roughly a $4,400 stipend with a maximum of $6,000 off room and board. RA Director Lindsay Fosdick says much of this imbalance isn't because the school doesn't want to fund the RAs more, the school just physically can't.
I would say we sit like really right in the middle compared to a lot. There are some that do, full room and board, for example, like IU. They can do full room and board. That's not something we're able to do. There's certainly reasons why someone might feel like they might want to get paid more than they do. For this coming year, one of the pay rates, the senior RAs, I felt like that was not meeting at all the amount of work they were doing. And so I was able to carve out some additional money to go ahead and give that position a raise.
I'm Joey Theobald with Hanover Headlines.
International students face unique challenges. One of them is finding jobs on campus. Maya Escobander explores why they have these problems and how they can overcome them.
Many students on campus work in food service. For international students, these are some of the only jobs available. According to the Assistant Director of International Student Services, it's harder for international students to get hired.
The first challenge is not getting employment early enough. Because of the delay with the Social Security number. Sometimes they wait till last minute to sign up for a job, and then they can't work until they get that Social Security number.
International students often meet at the hack room. They discuss their different experiences of discrimination in the workplace. Other problems include visa restrictions, discrimination, and a competitive job market. These challenges can be due to their nationality, language skill, or cultural background.
I struggled to find a job in campus, but Hanover College has helped me to find a really good job, and now I have new friends and new people that I can work with.
To find jobs, Students visit the university's Career Center to get help with their resumes, cover letters, and job search strategies. Then they apply online.
Finding jobs on campus can be tough for anyone, but especially challenging for international students with limited opportunities and language barriers. They deserve our support and encouragement. For Hanover Headlines, I'm Maya Iskander.
A great benefit of a liberal arts study is making connections between the disciplines. Recently, students in history Professor Anthony Miller's Politics of East Asia class worked on an art exhibit in the library.
And we just like set up all the paintings, write all the definitions of the paintings. We did it like 2 weeks ago, and now it's available for everyone.
The exhibit, called Myanmar Through the Eyes of Its People, features works created during a brief period of democracy in that country. At the time, fine arts flourished, but now many pieces in that collection could not be shown publicly in the artist's home country because of its repressive government.
Spring has sprung, and finals weeks is here. Students are stressed for their exams, papers, and anything else for their finals. With this, students have been looking for ways to lighten their workload. Some students have used technology to cut corners in their busiest time of year. One of the newest ways technology is being used is cheating in the form of ChatGTP, artificial intelligence designed to answer any question you send it to. It's a new form of AI. It's so new, many students don't know that much about it.
I haven't really used it either, but I know it's, you can kind of type in a question or like a prompt and it will kind of spit out like the whole thing.
Professors are becoming more aware of the changing technology, with faculty members encouraging students to know their limits. College students sometimes complain that too much studying is killing them. And they're right, but not in the way they think. Elizabeth Winters reports on ways college students can improve their health, despite sitting in class all day.
Studying, eating, social media, class. According to the Journal of Sports Medicine, most college students sit 11 hours a day. And that's as bad for your health as smoking or being obese. Sitting more than 8 hours a day can cause heart disease, diabetes, blood clots, back pain, anxiety, and other mental health effects. Decreased energy and even depression are two effects seen by Hanover counselor Sarah Crafton.
I think in the world of academia, we do a lot of sitting and thinking and reading and writing and typing, and so it's like we have to work extra hard to get out of that just normal habitual process of sitting so much.
It does feel for anyone you walk into a lab. It's not just students. According to the CDC, almost 30% of people in Indiana are classified as inactive. Because so much of her work needs to be done on a computer, communication professor Valerie Young bought herself a standing desk.
I notice that when I'm sitting for too long during the day, I get tired when I'm going home from work. And I also notice that sometimes I have I can feel in my stomach that I've been crouched down.
Getting regular exercise can help somewhat, especially strength training that targets the hamstrings and glutes.
We think about our sitting posture, our glute muscles, so those are some of our strongest muscles in our body. They can get kind of sleepy and kind of go offline when we're sitting all the time, not engaging our glutes. Another consequence is we're going to be flexing our hip flexors, so they're going to be in this shortened position. And so the consequence of that is over time, those muscles actually shorten. We'll move into some cat shots.
And while these exercises can help, they can't make up for almost a full day of inactivity. So experts say to be aware, walk when you talk on the phone, take frequent stretch breaks when studying, even stand or work on balance while you watch TV.
That was our professor, Elizabeth Winters, you heard reporting. But our whole class worked on that piece. And some of us were inspired to get more movement, even give yoga a try.
As you saw in the story, Sarah Crafton teaches a campus yoga class, and she showed our reporters some of the top poses that can help with back conditioning. Some of these include cat-cow, knee lunges, the bridging pose,
So here we're stretching right here, these outer hip muscles. These muscles can get really tight.
Crafton offers yoga classes on Mondays at noon and Tuesdays at 4.
College students are always looking for something delicious to eat. Food variety is especially important to satisfy the taste buds. But some students are struggling to find enough options to eat. Charlotte Burnett investigates this issue.
From breakfast to lunch to dinner, college students look forward to their next meal. But what happens when there are no foods you could eat?
I would say there definitely are options, but I wouldn't say it's a variety of options. It's just pretty much the same things every day. At least it has been since when I got on campus.
Hanover's dining rooms offer a wide range of options. Menus change daily, there are a variety of food stations, even a mini fridge stocked with gluten and dairy-free options. Yet, some students are still struggling to find allergy-friendly meals.
Find it is look at the signs that are available that say like the allergens, but they don't always have signs for everything, so I can't really guess, so I just have to go with the only options that have signs available.
However, Associate Director of Parkhurst Dining, John Anderley, says he ensures that students with food-related allergies get the services they need and are able to contact him if any issues come up.
And I do know of a couple times where I've had a student call me and say they're out of them and they're not there. We've gotten them over there within 5 to 10 minutes, but we shouldn't be doing that. We should always have them there. And that's kind of our goal. We've had students with as many as I think 33 to 40 allergens that we had to work around. I had that particular student would text me and say, I need this, this, and this that day, and we would actually make it.
For the future, Shelby hopes to see changes made in places such as here, the Underground. For Hanover Headlines, I'm Charlotte Burnett.
The end of the semester is approaching at Hanover College. Students need good sleep hygiene to finish up their season strong.
As sleep goes down, your kind of mental state and whole body function will slowly kind of go down with it until your body's just like, well, okay, we're going to crash you and make you sleep.
To achieve healthy sleep hygiene, you should ensure your bedroom is quiet, dark, relaxing, comfortable. Also remove all electronic devices like phones, TVs, and computers from the bedroom. And lastly, avoid consuming large meals, caffeine, alcohol, and other things like that before bed.
As the final season ends and spring break is right around the corner, it leads the Hanover community into one of the most loved seasons, which is wiffle ball. Every year, the Lambda Chi Alpha brothers host this as a fundraiser, but also as a community builder, as senior Devin Sims says.
A lot of people just like to come together and get to know the people, get to play wiffle ball, of course. If you've never played it, it's pretty fun. I never played it before I got here, but I play it every time we set up and everything, just because it's a fun activity to do with my brothers and any other people that might show up.
In a few short weeks, this empty field will host hundreds of students as they will compete, socialize, or even just stop by for a famous Frank burger. The brothers of this house are very welcoming as they cannot see you at the first weekend of May. Spring break is coming for Hanover College. Let's take a look at our students' plan for this week.
So my friends and I are planning to head over to Gulf Shores, Alabama, and just spend the week on the beach.
Yeah, first, happy finals week, Hanoverians. And I don't have a lot of plans for spring break. I'm planning on staying on campus because I'm part of the tennis team, so I have a commitment.
So, my fellow reporter, do you have any plans for your spring break?
Well, I was actually going to go up to New York, visit some family there, spend some good time there. I don't really get to see them that much because they're about 8 hours, give or take, away. What about you?
For me, I'm simply just going to go home, spend time with my parents, and spend time with my beloved donkey. Nice. That's all for this edition of Hanover Headlines. I'm Owen Vi.
And I'm Joey Theobald. Thanks for joining us. Have a safe and fun spring break, everyone.